Hey, welcome back to Views on Brews. I am Brendan, and this is going to be another delve deeper into episode, taking a look into the world of glassware and what beer goes into what glass and why, how it was made, what it was for, and I'm going to be tucking into beers like this one here and telling you exactly why it looks such a beautiful glass. It's not all the aesthetics, it's also down to design to really accentuate all of the qualities and the characteristics of the beer. So that's coming up next. Give me an old subscribe if you haven't, if you're new to the channel, and check out the rest of the video. Cheers. This one's a bit of an anomaly. This is the Hoegaarden glass, and it's for a Belgian wit style beer, but it's specific to the brewery. But really what this glass does is it's a combination of utilitarian. It holds very well, it's robust, it's thick. If you drop it, it's not going to break. But it also does something for the beer which is quite characteristic for the style. You want that style beer in the warm summer months to stay cold. The cooler the glass, the thicker the glass, the more that it insulates that cold beer inside there while you're able to drink it. So the Hoegaarden glass actually is really good for the summertime. Now, these glasses here, if you are a craft beer nerd, you'll know these Spiegelau glasses, and they have Spiegelau written on the bottom of them. There's 3 different kinds of them. They're for wheat beers, stouts, and for IPAs. The IPA has 3 ribs in it. What you'll notice is the glass is so thin that they're ready to crack. And if you look at this glass really closely, you'll notice there's lots of residue in here. So I don't like these glasses at all. I think they're a terrible, terrible design glass. Can't be cleaned at all. Can't get out any residue, any yeast, or anything that sticks to the bottom of the glass, or anything in your dishwasher as well gets stuck in there. I won't use them myself. In fact, I only had that one just to show you. I've given away one and I broke the other. So that's the Spiegelau glass, but they do look pretty cool with the beer inside them. Then we move on to some of the more decorative sort of glassware, you could say. So back in the 14th century, when the bubonic plague was about, the Germans made a law that you had to have it was actually brought into a law that you had to have a covering on your glass, which has stuck around, and the original Stein krug, which is the stone mug or stone jug, was always made out of stone. And it's very easy to make decorative designs on them. They always depict scenery from German culture and towns and German lifestyles and all different kinds of hunting and everything on them. Or the brewery themselves, in the case of this one, the Hofbrau Stein krug. But really, these glasses were utilitarian to stop flies getting in them. And one of the rare things that you don't really see is anyone ever using them to put beer in, which I think is really sad. And they probably, of all of the glassware that I've got, they probably have the least amount of dust inside them because they've got the lid on them. So entirely practical. They used to be made of stoneware, which is very heavy. Eventually that was dropped in favor of the glass 1 litre Stein. Glass is, by weight, it's a lot lighter than stoneware. But this one is made of porcelain. They're all decorative. They're not really meant for use at all for beers. But you could absolutely throw a beer into there. I'm not going to. Maybe I will actually do that. But the lids on them, and then they have all the regional ones, and they've always got a lot of information on the bottom of the Stein so that you can then go away and learn a bit more about them. There's huge catalogues all across the internet of Steinware. so that you know where your Stein is from. This one is a wooden Stein. I've got a couple of wooden Steins, wooden handle. I could happily see myself 300 or 400 years ago, or 600 or 700 years ago, drinking out of this one. It only actually goes down to there, and then there's this big hole in here, so it fits on something very strange looking thing. And then you've got the very small Steins as well, but really practical. Again, a lot of glassware, a lot of beer glassware or beer stoneware, all based around utilitarian sort of reasoning for setting it up. So the mug on the top of this mug keeps things cold, because stone is cold itself, so it insulates that. Perfect for the beer garden and stops the flies getting in. So those are the Steins, which I absolutely love and have far too many of, and I've never used one for a beer in my life. In fact, I'm gonna do an episode where I pour a beer into a Stein. Okay, so the next category is the Belgian glassware, which is amongst the most decorative glassware that you can get. There are two different types of glassware, the chalice and the goblet. Now, I have two different types of chalice here in front of me. I do not have a goblet. I'm going to throw a picture up over there. And you'll notice that there's a very angular wine glass looking stem on it, long stem on it, slightly angled, more like more elegant, thinner glass as well on the top, and usually with a rim of either gold, silver or platinum around the top of the glass. And very much different to the chalice. The chalice is just one of the most fantastic beer glasses you can get. Very ornate, usually one specific design per brewery, and you'll often find these amongst the most expensive beer glasses you can buy. Always thicker glass on the chalice, thinner on the goblets, and a thicker glass. The larger mouth on the top of the chalice, as opposed to the goblet, is there for more surface area, so that the bubbles are slightly more open and release some of their aromatics. They're slightly different aromatics to the spicy peppery sort of aromatics, clovey ones from the Weizen, slightly different again from the aromatics you want to get from an IPA. These ones are a little bit more esterified from the yeast, and a little bit more contributed from sugar dextriness, and a little bit more Belgian malt characteristics. So opening a bigger mouth space, for a bigger surface area I should say, allows you to socially drink, and allows you to get a real full waft of all of the flavors coming out there without closing in all of those the effervescence of the beer. And you'll notice that when you get a Belgian beer, quite often the bubbles are quite spritzy and effervescent. Really sort of works well with this kind of glass. So those are the chalice and the goblet glasses. And then last but not least, from Belgium anyway, you get we're moving into the novelty area. I mean, Powell Quack is a coachman's glass. It's meant to be held on the back of a coachman's coach. But then, the novelty of this thing here is supposed to be able to clip back into it. Really, there's an element of novelty to it. There's an element of story. There's an element of mythology to it as well. The same sort of thing here. We've got a Weizen glass from Störtebeker Brewery, but it's obviously offset. You might have a glass horn stuck in one of these things here, or a glass horn on a 3 pedestal. You might have something along the lines of, novelty beer glasses, really. Novelty, anything you can think of, any shape. There's a boot, a German boot, which comes along with a big story, and you're supposed to have the toes of the boot facing towards you when you drink it so that it doesn't splash out in your face. Just a bit of fun. Some of them a little bit crazy, the skull shapes and the body shapes and all of that. But really, that is the world of glassware, and it does have a reason for each beer. One of the best ones is, of course, this one. Such a heavy glass, you would never spill it over because the weight of the bottom of it just going to hold it where you sit it. And so that really is the reason for all of the shapes and the designs of these glasses, to enhance the flavors, the aromatics, the look of the beer so that you can see through the beer, the weight of the glass, specifically for the style of beer, to keep the temperature of the beer exactly as designed by the brewer. The way the beer releases its gas, nitrogenation coming down the side of this glass, cascading outwards. It's all been thought about, including the way we grip the glass, and every single aspect of the glass design is important, including, I suppose, the marketing of the glass with all the labeling on the side and whatever else, the nucleation of the glass as well. Some are nucleated and some are not. Pint glasses more so than tulip glasses. And I think that's going to do it. That's going to wrap it up. So those are the beer glasses that I have in my collection. Far too many, and they all need a good dusting. I'm going to give this one a go. I have a Powell Quack. I think I need to somehow clean that glass. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm definitely going to drink out of that. I'm definitely going to drink out of a Stein mug. This one is more a jug because it doesn't have the lid on it. But we'll give some of these glasses a spin. So if you are getting value from this video, do consider smashing that like and the subscribe button below. Be much appreciated. And I think that's going to wrap it up. We are going to move on. I'm going to finish off my Weizen Urweiss and look up that style because I'm not quite sure what an Urweiss is as opposed to a normal Weiss, but I'm going to find out any second now. And I'm going to do so while drinking the beers. So there you have it. There is a different style glass for every beer that we drink. I'm not sure if I'll actually conform to using the right glass every single time I drink a beer. But if I have a tulip glass handy, I won't go too far wrong. And if I have a long, tall, thin glass, I'm not going to go too far wrong with any kind of Weizen or Pilsner. Something tall and thin so you can get that big frothy head of foam, and a big round surface area for any of the Belgian style beers sounds perfect to me. Other than that, I'm going to stick with my Willy Becker, affectionately known as the Willy Belcher. That's going to wrap it up. I am looking forward to hearing your comments below to see what you make of those beer style glasses there. And I have a lot of polishing to do outside there of about 150 other glasses. So I'm off to do that. Cheers, see ya, sláinte, goodbye, and it's on to the next one. Bye bye.